Greetings, all cinefolks around the world, here at home and abroad. Welcome back to the Classic Cinematic Movie Podcast that takes you back to the iconic films up 20 years ago. I am your guy, Jay Alonzo. With me, of course, is...
David Dangerneff. How you doing, partner?
What is the deal, man?
Interesting weekend, which we are definitely going to dive into topic. On this episode, though, we will dive into it here in an upcoming episode. But yeah, it's been pretty interesting this weekend.
Pretty interesting week. I want to give a quick shout out to everybody who checked out 2 Minute Drill. It was a blast. As you can see, it worked out a hell of a lot better this the second time around. So thank everybody who tuned in for that. Of course, you can sign up to play the game. We're doing it monthly. You can sign up to play the game probably about 2 weeks before we do the next show. And yeah, man, it was a blast. Shout out to Brian who won the grand prize. Yeah, pretty good. Let me see. How did you feel about 2 Minute Drill?
I think it went better than the first one. I think it was a little bit more clearer. I had a blast. I won't lie. I was pulling for my boy Duval, but apparently him and the Henny don't agree when it comes to remembering movie facts. So it kind of ruined his chances there. Shout out to Brian for sure. He played a hell of a game.
Oh yeah, with Duval, it was his birthday too, so he wasn't 100% there. He was to be turning up.
Mindset.
To be turning up, but yeah, it was a good time. Definitely a good time. More announcements. Of course, the 20 for 20 battle is on the way. By the time this show comes out, we are past Blackout Day. So we're gonna announce the show on Tuesday, but obviously we're also part of Blackout Day as well to sit and show us solidarity for what's going on. So with that being said, 20 for 20 is happening on Saturday. It is me, the champ, versus Hollywood Kev of the Noise Podcast. We are doing 2013 versus 2015. I will be representing the year 2015 hip hop and R&B, and Kev will be representing 2013 hip hop and R&B, and I'm gonna crush it. No problem at all.
I don't think any good music came out in 2015, but
yeah,
I'm racking my brain.
You'd be surprised. Get ready to buy. Be like, oh yeah. So yeah, look forward to that.
Right. I remember this. Eureka!
I know this song, but yeah. So we got that going on, and that will be on Saturday, Facebook Live. Look out for the event announcement. It should be by the time the show comes out. It should be out now. But yeah, 20 for 20 this Saturday. It's going down. Now that's only, of course, Versus doesn't have their battle going on. If that's the case, then we'll work out something. But right now, to give the proper promotion, and obviously of taking advantage of the Blackout Tuesday, announcing the show on Wednesday for the battle on Saturday. So it's gonna be cool. Look out for that. And we got 2 episodes this week.
We do. We are. In light of everything that's kind of coming out, Jay and I basically discussed and decided to go ahead and do 2 episodes this week. One of them was supposed to be regularly scheduled, which is what this episode really is. The other one, we are going to take it back to Super Throwback. I'm not going to announce the episode as it's kind of it's a touchy kind of movie. And when I watched it recently, I was like, I think this is a good commentary for everything that's going on. So yeah, shout out to Pops for putting it on. Like he had it on, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna check this out, and it's pretty solid. It's low, but it's a solid movie. Yeah.
So I can't wait to be announced. And this movie in particular that we're gonna do, the second movie for the week. It's old school. It's super throwback, but it's relevant as hell today. Yeah. So that's why when you called me to do 2 episodes this week, I said, you know what, that makes sense. So we should definitely do that. So yeah, look out for that. 2 episodes this week. What else we got?
there's not really any movie news. I mean, really, there's some reshoots going on with the Snyder Cut to kind of bring back, Superman and whatnot, but I don't care. Same thing with the Snyder Cut. I'm irritated because some of my favorite YouTube episodes are going on hiatus. We at Back to the Classics will not be going on hiatus, even though that was originally scheduled for this year at some point. So we will be going throughout the summer here since we've all been at home. The only thing I got going on, I watched a couple movies. One that was kind of recent, Ready or Not, which is kind of capping with Samara Weaving. I liked it.
I liked it too. I thought it capitalizes on that horror comedy perspective.
Yeah,
I thought it was executed very well. I watched this movie called The High Note that came out to streaming the other day with Tracy Ellis Ross, Ice Cube, Dakota Johnson. I can't think of the guy's name, but a very talented cat actually. And I found the movie to be quite entertaining actually, considering the premise of it all. It's about Tracy Ellis Ross is like a diva of yesteryear, so she's kind of really banking off of her greatest hits, yada yada.
Yeah.
But it comes to Dakota Johnson.
Like Dakota Johnson is like the writer for
inspiring producer.
He's not really getting shit or something like that.
I thought it was all right. I thought it was okay. I think it's very. Remember the movie Working Girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, very very reminiscent of that. And the funniest thing is Melanie Griffith, who's Dakota Johnson's mom, is in the movie playing Tess, which is the funniest thing. And then the character that Tracy Ellis Ross develops is almost kind of shy of her mom, who was Diana Ross, which is the weirdest thing. Yeah. But a Working Girl cinematic universe. Who knew?
Only if we have the. Do you ever watch Bob's Burgers?
Of course, love that show.
Do you ever watch the episode where they made the combined musical play of Die Hard and Working Girl?
Yes.
I would pay top dollar to actually see that production like come to life, even if it's just in theater. I'd be like, you know what, I'd be down for this.
Working Die Hard Girl.
Yeah, Working Die Hard. Right.
So
working hard to die, girl.
Working girl dies hard. Ooh,
right.
That sounds horrible. But today's movie, gonna keep it a short one. But I think this movie, I can't wait to get your perspective on it because now rewatching it, I don't think I've seen it in a while up until yesterday when I watched it. But take it back to 2000 with the Martin Lawrence classic, if you will, Big Mama's House. Original release date June 2nd of 2000. Shares opening weekend with Running Free. I have no idea what that is. Production budget of $30 million. Box office total $174 million. Currently at a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. Is that fair?
Yep.
Yep. Shouldn't be more fair.
I know audiences probably like it a little bit more. I think the highest I'd probably score is maybe a 45. The script is bad. The direction is bad in this movie. There's no point to some of the side characters in this movie. Like, there's no point to Paul Giamatti's character, like, at all. Like, there's not.
I mean, I think Giamatti he needs to be there because Malcolm needs a partner. But my bigger issue comes from, say, perfect example, Terrence fucking Howard. He's the villain in this movie. Granted, you need a villain. But when his first line of dialogue doesn't come until 45 minutes in, it was like, okay, so why are you here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just didn't quite grasp into that.
I don't think Terrence Howard was a known name at the time. So, it could be, one of those like early roles to kind of build up your repertoire, because really, I don't think a lot of people heard of him until really like Hustle and Flow. And yes, I know he was in other stuff before that, including this, but he made his name in Hustle and Flow, and that's how he's able to get some of the projects he would later on. But man, like this is kind of a weird movie because it's like the actors that you would think would still kind of be prominent nowadays. All three of them are not really prominent at all. Like Terrence Howard, you don't really find him in anything that's not Empire, and not a
Well,
lot of
yeah, because
Empire.
I agree with that, and also don't forget this around the time when Martin was getting 20 million a movie. You know what I'm saying? So that $30 million budget, 20 with the Martin. You know what I'm saying? So, but last the year before that, he was in Blue Streak and in Life. This is 2000, so I believe next year he's doing Black Knight.
I mean,
So
Blue Streak. Yeah, I guess it was Blue Streak because we did Blue Streak with Chelsea Hobb.
correct. So it was this is around the time when Martin was hot. Martin was hot. He was all over the place. And then, but the product that was coming out of it, while I do get giggles from this movie, still, this movie's never been like a gut busting, hilarious romp of a comedy. It just wasn't that.
It's
And
almost kind of family friendly, but not in a good way.
right, I remember going to the movies with my mom to go see this, and my mom busted up like she couldn't wait to go see it. And me, as a Martin Lawrence fan, I was a huge fan of Martin back in the. There was not a single movie that he would put out that I wouldn't go see,
Mm-hmm.
bad or not. So I this movie, uh, you're right, it doesn't age well at all,
No,
but there are still definitely elements and plot points and certain scenes and certain gags that do still go over.
I think I think my biggest problem with this movie is kind of this whole premise that came out of the Nutty Professor movies. You know, those the remakes of those movies, which was like, okay, it was really funny when Eddie Murphy put on a fat suit, you know, and he did a stand up and stellar job. But let's keep in mind something. Eddie had been doing this for a long time, like before he did Nutty Professor. Like, sure, people recognize him Nutty Professor, but coming to America, he played multiple characters as well. You know, he had no issue putting prosthetics and makeup and whatnot. I, I crack up laughing the minute I hear Martin Lawrence's voice playing as Big Mama because I'm like, he sounds nothing like her whatsoever.
He sound like Marlon
How is
Wayans.
nobody immediately questioning this?
Well, so before we get to the movie itself, I always thought, the lady who plays the original Big Mama, she's in prosthetic makeup. It has to be because
No doubt about it.
when they make her when they make his mask to resemble her, it's damn near uncanny. Like he looks like Big Mama for sure, but the original actress who plays Big Mama, like I was looking at her face, like I kind of feel like I knew for a fact that she wasn't in her regular her regular look. Like they had to put prosthetics on her, make something on her to give her that look. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I just think it's rather interesting. I also think it's interesting because the actress who played Big Mama, Ella Mitchell, I don't know her in anything else.
Me neither.
I was like,
Me neither. That was a casting call. That was like, yo, I like you.
right. That was, and
But
for her to get as many lines as she did, I'm like, wow, you guys, you know what I mean? Like you guys couldn't find a more well-known actress, and shout out to her because I don't think she does a bad job in this movie.
no. The movie does open with a dog fight taking place. With this is some Asian crime lords and whatnot, and we get Paul Giamatti. He's being revealed as an FBI agent. So they toss him into the dog fight, and then this random Asian guy stands up. Clearly, it's Martin Lawrence because he's the only Asian dude that doesn't look Asian,
And it's bad.
and it's bad. It's horrible.
Not,
But
not like this is where I say in the movie, I'm like, you guys are kind of close to crossing a line here. I'm like, this is close to white people doing blackface. I mean, this is Asian face, and it's not. It's
yeah,
not.
we got big balls, big cajones, all that shit.
Oh,
But
I'm like, why are you doing Spanish?
But he's revealed to be Malcolm Turner, who's played by Martin Lawrence, and he showcases his fighting skills, beats up the drug lords, and then police runs in, and the bad guy's caught. Um,
Meanwhile, you get this criminal Lester Vesco, who was originally sentenced to life in prison for murder and armed robbery. He escapes from his cell by killing the doctor and stealing the doctor's car. And I got to say, like, that was that this movie's uneven in its tone because you get Lester and you're looking at the security footage, and it's it looked like it could have been pulled straight from like a straight from Dead Presidents.
it's dark.
It,
It's definitely dark.
He's a very, very dark, like, knocking the cop down, putting 2 bullets into the guy, aiming, no problem. And it was such dark footage. So when Lester is eventually introduced, sure, he's hitting the tone a little bit, but I'm like, yo, you kill a cop for like no reason. Like why not this guy? And then when he's reintroduced super late into this movie, like it's not, man, it's not matching the footage.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you on that because first thing first about the tone. When we are introduced to his character, they establish him that that's your villain. Okay, cool. And it's such a dark reveal about how he is. Like I said, he pops 2 guards. He robbed the bank, the whole nine. I mean, he looks at the camera, smiles, and then shoots it. So it's like it's already introduced him for him to be like a villainous character, right? So the tone is really dark. But like you said, the problem is that he's gone for about 30 to 40 minutes before we see him again, And then
On for
kind
the
of
rest of the
skipping
movie.
ahead real quick, by the time he has that final conversation with Malcolm as Big Mama, obviously, but he has a conversation with Malcolm and he doesn't seem as scary and imposing as he was once built to be. Like he can get his ass beat pretty easily.
I'll tell you what movie I immediately thought rewatching this, and I thought of The Mask, right? Because in The Mask you got Dorian, right? Who's played by Peter Green, Dorian Tyrell.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of imposing for this movie. Like he's kind of a weasel, and then he was like, "I'm tired of being a weasel," and he comes off really imposing towards the end of this movie.
Right.
That though, that was a consistent like build up. This was almost like a step down, almost, and it didn't help that the script for this movie was just bad.
So okay, so another thing I wanted to kind of touch on real quick was that they let it be known that Lester did escape from prison, killing a prison doctor, and drove out in a man's Volvo. But as typical movies like this, like a action comedy or a police comedy, whatever, you always have that scene where you kind of come across the bureau and everybody discussing what's actually going on and what the stakes are with this particular villain. And they're naming out, well, what about the stepbrother in Voodoo or a cousin over here, Voodoo? And then at the time we've now met Sherry, who was played by Nia Long, and her son Trent, and she sees that Lester has escaped from prison, so she almost knows that he's coming straight to her. You feel what I'm saying? So we're believed that she's in California, I believe, and takes a random trip to Georgia.
Right, but it also helped that it, a it also helped that they had a couple of days notice beforehand because I can tell you right now, a California to Georgia trip, even if you're driving straight through, like, and she's not because clearly she's stopping in motels, it's going to take a few days. Like it took us, when I moved to Vegas, it took us 5 days to get out here. Mind you, we were sightseeing for a couple of those days, but so I kind of get that. I actually didn't mind that. I also didn't mind the idea of in this movie was how involved is Nia Long in this movie. Like, is because her behavior and it's why she actually gets very quickly that chick award. She kind of plays like she kind of plays it like she's guilty of something. you know, and it's pretty clear that when this whole ridiculous notion gets put into effect, it really, she really plays it up very well. So I'll give her kudos for that. Um, but this plot line is also kind of gets a little wonky as weird, because it's like they move there, and apparently, now here's something else I really, really liked about this movie, because they're in Cartersville, Georgia, right? Cartersville, Georgia is one of those places that in the South, it's kind of what you've always pictured for that like Southern home. You got white picket fences everywhere, and you got to unlock the gate to get up to the front door. You got a screen door for mosquitoes, and you got the door there. So playing all that and the Southern hospitality, perfect. It was absolutely perfect in exactly how that was kind of pictured. What I thought was hilarious was like this introduction to Big Mama, and how she just really, really, really needed to take a crap.
Okay, all right. So that's one of those scenes that just, when I was younger, it was hilarious.
The worst part about it is that he uses the song later on in the movie, and he did, because he was like, well, that's a character trait that she has. But you knew he found out about that character trait because he was hiding in the shower while she was taking her shit. I mean, did we really need to see that scene?
I mean, listen, like I said, when I was younger, that scene was funny. It was hilarious to me. Something about poop jokes is just funny to me. But rewatching this makes zero sense. But basically, Malcolm and John been assigned to do surveillance on Big Mama's house. Big Mama gets a call from a friend somewhere else who needs help, so she takes off
2 weeks
for a few weeks, leaving them the opportunity to go into the house, plan surveillance, do whatever, and on time get a phone call from Sherry saying, I'm coming your way, want to see you. Now, Big Mama being gone, you can only do one thing, and that's make a mask, be Big Mama. So
and when he first dresses up as Big Mama, like, it's hilarious to kind of see, because the suit isn't even ready. Like he's still got his skinny ass legs, and like she's not really paying attention because the dress goes all the way down. He has to wind up putting duct tape on his neck to keep
right.
to keep the mask from falling off, because he put the kitchen so hot.
Right. I mean,
that was funny. That was really funny.
No, the scene I found really funny was the same scene. She's now Big Mama's now welcomed Sherry and Trent. Now they're in the kitchen. Same thing with the duct tape scene, but she's cooking food, and she uses damn near half the bottle of Crisco with butter. I'm looking like, what are you making? You know what I'm saying? That's not going to kill somebody after the first bite.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the gag of it all, what made it funny is because Sherry, it makes you wonder when's the last time Sherry actually seen her grandmother, because she knows it's a weird thing going on with her right now, but overall it's like, oh well, that's Big Mama. It is what it is. So I like the fact that it kind of leaves you wondering, like, how long has it been since she's seen her grandmother? You know what I'm saying? Because
well, she did say it was a few years, so
right.
So she did mention that it's been a few years, and I gotta say that's kind of where it's like a little unbelievable, because I'm like it's been a few years, and you don't really see some of the differences that you don't have any questions about this, but
more than that. Big Mama brings up certain things that you wouldn't even believe that she would know, as far as like, what happens to that boyfriend that got in trouble? Like, how would you know that?
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it was almost like, I get it, they do it to kind of drive the plot, or to drive the story, but it's like, if Sherry hasn't seen Big Mama in some years, I'm sure Big Mama has a TV, so she knows that Lester Vesco is this criminal, but how do you know that Lester Vesco is with your granddaughter?
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, again, just kind of confusing plot points. Not only that, but like, there's a whole bunch of side characters in this movie, and I here's my problem with side characters. If you're going to have side characters in the movie, they at least have to be able to do something somewhat to kind of drive the plot, right? So, for example, like there was no point to Anthony Anderson's character in
None
this,
whatsoever.
none
He's
whatsoever.
he's there strictly
He's
for a gag.
absolutely useless. He is literally useless. There's no point to having Big Mama's boyfriend in there, but okay, that's not so bad. The scene, I will say, and again, these side characters have no point to the story, but the scene where he has to deliver a baby. Now that was hilarious because it was like he froze in the moment, and then like, and then he goes, I need like towels, I need all the Crisco, I need,
I need
because
lard,
we're
preferably
having
Crisco.
this baby, like slide on out of here, right? like, and like the woman who's pregnant is like really really like kind of freaked out by everything. She's all like, "Big Mama, we ain't frying no chicken up in
I listen. I also really do like. It was a super small thing, but during the baby delivery scene, uh, it cuts to Giamatti. No, here we go. Big Mama goes, I need lard, preferably Crisco. And
right.
as they bring the Crisco out, it cuts to Giamatti. Goes, they use Crisco for everything down there. Like it was a quick gag, but hilarious gag though. Because like they use Crisco for everything down south. Absolutely.
um, and a couple other things that came out, like once again they kind of wanted to show how cool Martin Lawrence is in this movie, and again, the problem with this movie more than anything is that it has filler scenes. So, for example, like scenes that ultimately don't play a big part towards the end plot of this movie. So, like Big Mama playing basketball against teenagers, right? Big Mama in the self defense class. It had a very, I don't know, Medea kind of feel, where it was like, it's like, there's some scenes sometimes in Medea movies, and not in the earlier ones, the later ones, because the earlier ones, a lot of them were really excellent. Where it's like, where it was, Medea would do something, and like it's just hee hee ha ha. It's just for like quick laughs in this movie, and it's like because of it, it's like, oh man, Martin Lawrence can play basketball in a fat suit. Oh man, Martin Lawrence can do self defense against Anthony Anderson, the security cops. Security cops don't know how to fight. No, I'm not kidding.
Well, in Cartersville, Georgia, the same guy who was the security guard at the lumberyard, he has $3 working under him. You'd imagine that the small town, it'd be the local defense teacher. You know what I'm saying? But okay.
Now,
So
eventually, though, and again, eventually, though, like Martin basically comes back into the picture. Malcolm Turner comes back into the picture, and he's kind of playing, the handyman, and maybe Nia will find a way to actually talk to him if he actually played as himself. Um, and really, the problem with it was that he let his own feelings get caught up in the action.
right.
So it's like at that point, I kind of wanted to like call foul and be like, "You're a bad FBI agent. Like, I know you solved the case, but your emotions literally get caught up in this, and you don't know if she's dirty or not.
Right.
Especially when it comes to like the ending scenes, because they go on like the fishing trip and whatnot, you know, and when eventually this all culminates into one huge party, that's one huge party that's happening at Big Mama's house, right? And so like, and so Big Mama finds a footlocker that Trent, the little boy of Nia, has, and finds the $2 million that's been missing, right? So, and then she like goes, she goes, you mean, so Nia Long, of course, explains everything. Basically, she knew that her keys were missing, but she didn't know exactly what was going to wind up happening.
From the back.
Right, exactly. Is going to find out. And so And so, Martin, who's so happy, he's like, you mean you didn't do this? Plants a straight up kiss like on her as Big Mama. And I'm like, I started cracking up because it was ridiculous to look at. But I'm like, come on, man. like,
But you know what? It's like sexual innuendo gags like that in this movie. Like even the scene when it's the
flashlight.
thunderstorm and she gets into bed with Big Mama, and of course she feels someone poking her. It's the flashlight, but then the second question, like, is there another flashlight on there? And he looks at the screen like, no, it's my dick. You know what I'm saying? But it's gags like that that I feel like kind of play to kneel on her her sexual how sexy she is, and she is she's the main chick. So really, you kind of look at it from the perspective of these kind of gags probably wouldn't go over today. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so. Not in 2020, and probably not
Yeah.
in 2019 or 2018. Maybe in 2017, but um, like the culture has just changed so much. Uh, this movie culminates up into this huge like wrap up scene where, of course, Lester finds out where Hattie Mae lives. Big Mama comes back, of course, and they're trying to do like the funny scene where it's like she disappears out of one corner and the Martin Lawrence comes out, from his traveling clothes and whatnot. And they're like, "Damn, that's fast," And then of course they both
Yeah, which I was like, it was also made for a gag, but it was like,
right. It's all gas
okay.
at this
It's
point.
all gags. Yeah.
But of course, what winds up happening is that they get into a fight, and this is where like I get so disappointed with Terrence Howard his character. It's like, bro, like what are you doing gut punches to this large woman?
And clearly,
Like,
you're
go for
hitting
the face.
all rubber motherfuckers, man.
You also saw that the face was torn off, and you recognize that it's not Big Mama. Why aren't you going for the face again? And just like, of course, like Martin's just taking it because it doesn't hurt him. He's in a fat suit.
See, that was my point. That was my exact point. Like you have spent all this time, even the scene when Lester goes to buy the gun from the gun dealer, and he punks him. That was it was a tense scene. You know what I'm saying? Because he goes, I don't care what my girl says. The price $200 or this deal goes bad. And he goes, well, it just went bad, didn't it? That's a tense scene. So you're still showing me that Lester is a bad motherfucker and he's not to be fucked with. But then come down to the final fight scene, you gonna get beat up like that? I was expecting like granted, John gets shot. Paul Giamatti's character gets shot in the scuffle, but I would expect him to like shoot a few people.
That's another problem I had is the shot to Giamatti. First of all, it grazed his arm, right? It wasn't like he put a bullet into his shoulder. But like afterwards, when they're pulling him out in the ambulance, like his arm's all wrapped up, and there's like there's blood here, even though he was shot here. And I'm like, come on, guys! Like
continuity.
You
gotta love continuity.
Saw the shot. You saw what happened.
But the movie does get to it wraps up really with the point of Malcolm, which by the way, if you peep his mustache, the way his mustache is looking, he's clearly working on what's the worst that can happen at this time. Because he changes his whole mustache. That's the next movie that comes out. I want to say it drops in 01. What's the worst that can happen with Danny DeVito? He goes back to the same church which Cedric the Entertainer is the pastor of. Go figure. But he walks in and he
has
testifies.
Nothing to do in this movie either.
Nothing. But he's a cameo. Ultimately, he's a cameo. But he walks in, he testifies. Mind you, Big Mama does not greet him at all. Says a few words, and all of a sudden, everybody's on his side. So I guess because it's church, you know what I'm saying. But ultimately, though, the movie wraps up with Malcolm and Sherry getting together.
And then, of course, they celebrate with "Oh Happy Day."
Oh Happy Day. Now, this movie has 2 sequels. I've watched both 2 and 3 one time, and I will tell you this: people of Back to the Classics land, our cinefolks, we will not be reviewing neither movie no time soon. Please don't expect it. Those movies are god awful. I mean, god awful. Big Mama 1 is okay at best. Big Mama 2 and 3, please. I'm cool.
All right.
Takeaways?
Let's do it.
Who's getting you that guy award?
I guess I'll give it to Martin Lawrence. Only because he's really the star of this movie. But it's not like there was a lot of. First of all, he's a bad FBI agent, but he at least knows how to recover well. So
Right.
I'll give him that. There were times when he was like acting very adultish, and then other times when he was acting how Martin sometimes acts in his movies,
Right.
which is a little childish. So um, it's him. Like I don't really think there's a better male character in this movie than him. And that's really not saying much.
Right. That's your award.
It was close to giving it to Martin Lawrence again as Big Mama.
About the same thing.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but it will go to Nia. At least her character is consistent. It was very much like I did something bad, I did something bad, I did something bad. And then come to find out it wasn't nearly as bad as you could possibly expected it to be. So when all that came through, it was pretty consistent for her character. Plus, she looked amazing.
That full award.
I'm going to give it to the white guy selling the gun, or Anthony Anderson's character. But I'll give it to the white guy selling the gun because I don't want to give it to Anthony Anderson. Dude, like follow through with your own deal. That's all. Follow through with your own deal. You already know the business that you're in.
Ain't no rules in gun selling, brother.
If you don't know who you are selling to, you stick with the price you set for it.
Or don't sell guns.
Or don't sell guns.
Cut that out.
The shit scene. Like, of course it's funny. And it's kind of the whole point of the oh happy day. But like, I didn't need it. I didn't really need it. Actually, you know what? Correction. I'm gonna cut out at least the basketball scene and maybe the karate scene. Because it's like this movie's already an hour and 40 minutes long, and I struggle to find why it needs to be an hour and 40. I think this movie really could have been even an hour and 25, and we get the point of the movie. So yeah, those two.
Iconic scene.
Is there one? Maybe the actual introduction to Martin Lawrence as Big Mama, like because of course that's the whole point of this movie is to introduce a black man in a fat woman's suit, and it was fine, but it wasn't. It was a memorable scene. I don't know if I would call it iconic. I'll put it as that. Who's going to get that guy award?
That guy award is going to go to Malcolm Turner, Martin Lawrence. He is the star of the show. He's probably in every frame of this movie. Maybe 97% of it is Martin Lawrence. For what he had, for what the script gave him, I figure he did what he could with the script that he had. I think the script for Blue Streak is way stronger.
Oh, definitely.
I think, yeah, I think the script for Life is way stronger.
Life's a good script.
He's had some good scripts on his way for sure. This one,
I'd even argue that the script for Black Knight is better than this, and I don't particularly care for that movie.
I'll give you that. I mean, really, what's worse that could happen as a stronger script too? To be honest about it.
National Security, which is a bloated movie, is a stronger script than this.
Absolutely. But he does what he does with what he has, and he takes on the fat suit thing. Because don't forget, this movie came out the same year, I want to say 2 months before Nutty Professor 2 comes out. So we're getting more fat suits in the same year, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it was just like you just kind of strike it while the iron is hot or what. But we just had two movies with dudes in fat suits.
Was it The Iron Was Hot? Were people demanding for movies like this?
Well,
Because then
there's never demand for this. Trust
I immediately look at Norbit and I shudder because that is just an awful, awful movie.
And Norbit's a little different because Norbit has a plethora of just comic geniuses in that movie who have nothing to do.
Yeah.
You know, Eddie Griffin, Cat Williams, Terry Crews is in there. I mean, Cuba Good. Like it's so many stars in that movie, but nothing to do. But yeah, so yeah, Michael Turner is my bad guy.
Who's getting your that trick award?
Obviously, it's gonna be Sherry Long because one, she looks damn good, especially in that night outfit she wore, which got the jam on that. I was like, ooh, Mia. But as far as her character though, Sherry is the only one that can really kind of hold on to the fact that she's holding on to a deep, dark secret that may not be as big once it's revealed, but something is eating away at her. She's making it well known that something is eating her up. And there's a reason why she's, without having to say the words, on the run. You know what I'm saying? And trying not to be caught by the police or by Lester. You know what I'm saying? And I think she conveys that emotion quite well, actually.
That Fool Award.
That full award is got to go to Anthony Anderson, man. I love Anthony Anderson. I think he's an amazing talent.
Nothing for
He's not needed in this movie. I mean, at all. Unless you want to showcase how people in Cartersville, Georgia are. But at the same time, it's more like this is like early Anthony Anderson when he was still kind of trying to get on, much more chubby at the time, and he's literally there for a gag.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't really break that until what? It took him a while to break that because what he had maybe exit wounds was when he first kind of started to break it a little bit.
Well, yeah, because a lot of those stuff was kind of coming like back to back, like far as like Exit Wounds was out, Cradle to the Grave was on the way. I think he led his own movie called King's Ransom, which was horrible, but he was trying to get his own stuff, and this is like years before Blackish.
But okay, so when King's Ransom came out, that was really like when he fully broke out because afterwards he had his role in Hustle and Flow.
Right.
That was a solid role, right?
And that really broke him out too. That he could be taken more serious as a serious actor, but yet with that comic tone to him. Yeah, Anthony Anderson. Yeah.
Let's go with.
Cut that up.
No, wait, that fool. Oh wait, no, you did that with Anthony Anderson. Cut that out.
Cut that out. I'm gonna go ahead and cut out. I'm gonna cut out Sadie and the boyfriend character, especially when Big Mama, the real Big Mama, catches them in her bed. It was almost like that went nowhere because Big Mama is intending on going downstairs, getting her bat, coming up there and banging some shit out. But instead she comes downstairs and now she's dancing with everybody at the party. So that really went nowhere. So I would cut them characters out completely.
And iconic scene.
Iconic scene. I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go the first official revealment of Big Mama because it's a trailer shot. It's the first time I'm really seeing Martin Lawrence in a fat suit, in full blown Big Mama with the makeup on and the whole nine. And if you recall, around this time, this is when Martin collapsed in LA because he was jogging. I want to say he was jogging for this movie, I believe.
Yeah, he was. He was jogging with sweaters, and he was in a coma for 3 days.
Yeah, he fell to a coma, and he's jogging in 100-something degree weather in a fucking wool hat. So it's like, all right, so obviously that wasn't the smartest of moves, but if you recall the trailer for this movie and you see the first reveal of Martin as Big Mama, it's like, oh, all right, I'm with that. Granted, Martin is not Eddie Murphy. Eddie's the king of this shit. He's done this for so long since Coming to America. So when you see a movie where Eddie Murphy's playing multiple characters, you know what to get out of this, except Norbit. But Nutty Professor, definitely Nutty Professor 2, the fact he plays 6 people outside of Buddy Love, it's like, yo, like Eddie's the king of this shit. The fact that Martin took a swing at it, I can't fault him for taking a swing at it. I just wish it was much more stronger material.
No, I don't fault him on that. Other actors obviously followed Eddie in the suit. Although obviously because they both came from SNL backgrounds, you could kind of see where that influence really started from, and that is also Mike Myers, obviously with Austin Powers and Fat Bastard and Doctor Evil, and I would argue more iconic characters that way. But I do agree with you that I do think in terms of who's the king at it, I would definitely give it to Eddie Murphy. The problem with Myers is that you get outside Austin Powers, it's not good.
Well, no, because even though Mike Myers, man, like Sly Married and Axe Murder, where he plays both him and his father.
Okay,
Those I thought that was great. It was played subtle, but funny as hell though.
that's fair.
Yeah. Quick hits.
All right, quick hits.
All right. Let me see. I got some pulled up. All right. Screenwriter Daryl Quarles came up with the idea for the name Big Mama because it was what the neighborhood kids used to call his own real life mother.
Nia Long was in talks to join the cast of Charlie's Angels. She was persuaded to join this film when she was sent a bunch of roses with the attached note, "Come to us where you'll be the only angel." Good move or not? I would say no, personally.
I would say no because we're talking about the Charlie's Angels with Cameron Diaz, Lucy Liu, right?
Lucy Liu and Drew Barrymore.
Okay, so let's just say, hypothetically, if Nia Long joined that cast to replace whomever,
She replaced Lucy Liu.
Yeah, you would be breaking ground on the fact that Charlie's Angels, which is typically known as 3 white chicks, you have 2 white chicks and a black lady. So that would be breaking ground for something that we didn't know that was due until they made it known, like, this is due. So, and
Lucy Liu is not white; she is Asian. That's right.
No, but it's, I mean, like, as far as Charlie's Angels show.
I just want to make sure that it's definitely mentioned there because she's actually
no doubt. But but around the time when she had the choice of doing either this movie or Charlie's Angels, you would think, all right, well, it's a movie with Martin Lawrence. It's ultimately it's a black movie. It's one of those projects where it's almost like you are treated like a queen on set, as opposed to doing Charlie's Angels when you're third string behind whomever. Just saying.
I think that's a tough sell.
It kind of is. It kind of is.
I think it is because I almost kind of want to say who is more memorable now, Lucy Liu or Nia Long, and in my opinion, it just kind of depends on the communities. Like right. Lucy Liu was the prominent Asian actress for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And that maybe that's more about representation, and that's a really strong argument to kind of have. But I mean, I almost feel like Nia Long could have been more prominent if she had a bigger Hollywood role. If Big Mama could have reached that pinnacle, then I have no complaint. But we know hindsight 2020 probably should have gone the other way.
For any physically active scenes, Martin Lawrence's fat suit had a built-in cooling tubes to help the actor. Lawrence had actually fallen into a coma whilst preparing for the film by jogging in extreme heat in a fat suit.
Ella Mitchell is a renowned Broadway actress who is the actress who played Big Mama, who's noted for her superb singing voice. That is Mitchell's real voice in the film's final scene when she belts out, "Oh, happy day."
She can sing.
Oh, no. She can belt.
Yeah, she can definitely sing. Let me see. While Martin Lawrence spends most of the film encased in latex, Elemental also required some makeup. Told you. Her nose wasn't as big as Lawrence, so that had to be augmented to make the similarity between the two women more believable.
Sherry Pierce, and this would be my final one. Sherry Pierce, Nia Long's apartment was filmed about a kilometer away, or zero point 0.6 miles, from Roger's house in Training Day. The direct As the Crow Flies is even closer, 750 feet or 230 meters, and you can see the film locations for both films.
It's crazy because actually, while it's shot in Georgia, well, while it's set in Georgia, the entire movie is shot in Cali.
I could tell that was California.
I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's Georgia. That's the set for sure.
You want to know why I could tell? Because in Georgia, you can hear the bugs flying around you. I mean, hear them, and it doesn't matter how far away. There's just this, you can hear it.
Oh yeah, when I visited Atlanta and we were out and about going to a club or something, one bug flew by me, literally said, "What's up?" I'm like, "What's good, bro?" He kind of just kept going, you know. But that's it. That's Big Mama's house. Short episode today. Really a short movie, you know what I'm saying? I mean, what more do you want, really? I would watch this movie again, maybe not no time soon, but it comes on. I'm cleaning up the crib and has to be on. Yeah, I'll watch it, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Now that's saying I would never watch 2 and 3 ever again. Let me just submit that right now. I would never watch 2 and 3 ever again. But that'd be Mama house, man.
Fair enough. I would probably never. I'm probably not going to revisit this series ever again.
Don't forget, everybody, we do have a second show coming up this week. One that's very, very important, and a movie that is going to definitely tie into what's going on today in our times. So that's going to be a very special episode of Back to the Classics. Second one for the week. Besides that, Danger Neff, where can they find you, dog?
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at David Danger Neff. The co-host here at Back to the Classics, and we are always constantly working out. Shout out to my guy across the quarantine line here, because he has been busting ass, man. His fingerprints have been all over Beat Network now for the last 3 months, and so I got to give props. This show does not run without him. And I'm happy to be here still.
Thank you, my guy.
Yeah. Thank you, my
guy. Like Dave said, all over Beat Network, because Beat Network in the last 2 months is officially feeling like this is my career. I'm not working a regular 9 to 5 right now. I'm strictly doing beat stuff, and I'm having a fucking blast doing it, man. It's so much fun to be able to now gain that notoriety of, you know, the regular players that come associated with Beat Network, and people are really trying to take notice, and that's, you know, more than what any of us can really ask for. So you can find me on all the social media simply at IamJ Alonso. That's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. You talk to me and I'll talk back. Of course, the Facebook group chat, Back to Classics, a movie talk group, is up there. Go ahead and jump on there and join the conversation, as well as Spoiling the Classics, a movie talk group ran by my man David Neff. Like we said, 20 for 20 is coming
to spoil right now. There hasn't been anything to spoil in months. So I got nothing to spoil for you guys.
So we'll call it Rotten the Classics. But 20 for 20 is coming back on Saturday. Myself versus Hollywood Kev. Turn My Mic Up is officially coming back. The dates will be posted very soon. All 5 of us are all back together again. We'll be doing it likely we'll be doing it via Zoom, because everybody has different schedules. And yeah, that's about it, man. Y'all keep rocking with us. We keep giving y'all A1 content and having a blast while doing it. Yes, with that being said, we will see you later on this week. This is Back to Classics. I'm your guy, Jay Alonso. With me, as always,
Danger Neff.
See y'all soon. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart. All right? Love.